So what we saw is that we as humans are craving connection. We're craving joy. We're craving positivity. We're craving belonging, inclusion, individuality, and freedom. So those are 7 elements that we've just captured just in our conversation based on what you and I witnessed. We participated in this past weekend. We felt it. It was palpable. We saw it. We experienced it. And so let's build events that recreate those human desires and those human foundational elements that we need right now in this state of our history, right? We need belonging and joy.
That's actually a really interesting framing, because if you take those 7 equities, let's call them that, as the goals, you can then create opportunities for people to experience them. And some of them are just places where serendipity and spontaneity can happen, like Bourbon Street. Some of them are places like Instagrammable moments where people can kind of brand themselves as part of something and send it out to their friends. And then there's some things that are just kind of, inherent to New Orleans, the intimacy of the urban setting, the walkability of the streets, the architecture, man, the weather. I mean, I was walking around, no offense to our listeners, but, I was saying, man, this is like San Diego with culture. It was just, it was warm. It wasn't too humid. But I think that it's a really good way of framing the goals for events. And then people will fill in the rest. My favorite Taylor Swift story of the weekend is that we were moving house this weekend. So that's usually not a very joyful event. It's a drag. But I was hearing Taylor Swift everywhere, in the stores, coming out of cars on the street. And we're in our storage unit, putting stuff in storage, which is not particularly joyful activity. And I start hearing Antihero or Cruel Summer, some Taylor Swift song. And I think to myself, Michelle, that's it. I've cracked. Taylor Swift is officially living inside my head now, because for sure there's nobody in the storage safe unit, but then I look outside and there's a guy just walking down the street with a wagon with speakers hooked up to a car battery, just pumping Taylor Swift into the atmosphere like a mosquito fogger, just pumping. And I know, down this little side street, and I said, there's this mass participation in this event, which, again, I got people particularly with the elections a week away, gave people a sense of commonality that I think folks found desperately refreshing.